I think that what I expect the students to do is challenge themselves in their own ability to make pictures where they don't get to decide too much. They can go out and explore an idea and try to deal with limiting factors like time of day, weather, subject matter choice. You could, by just random events, end up with something really interesting. And so that was my Mendon Ponds. I'm a professor of the Biomedical Photographic Communications Department, and I've been here since 1986. A typical student, pretty industrious, pretty hard worker, pretty self-reliant, pretty self-motivated, pretty interested to learn things. That's what I like about it. I don't think that it were, white milk or homogenized in any way. There's every kind of personality. Maybe in this era, women. So women are more typical than men in this major. I was wrestling with how to keep the class energy high. The first 3 or 4 weeks of the class, everybody's intently spending time in the lab. We're working with pine cones and we're working with soap bubbles. At the time, bones and other stuff was part of the first few assignments that I had created, and I hadn't taught before. So just brainstorming with ideas that I could use as an assignment that would deal with natural science photography. It would get people out of the lab. It would deal with precision and focus and things like that, but it would be kind of fun to do. And I think the morning light is different because of the dew and the light and the quality of the light interacting with morning dew and moisture, and so it's magical. In the morning, after a cool evening, after there's dew on them, they're all perky and happy and they glisten with diamonds. There's no dew at 5, so whoever has the argument that evening is the same as morning is mistaken, and they're missing the magic of the morning.
I thought it was going to be fun until we had to grab stuff out of the hat, and then I tried to trade my project with somebody else.
I wanted to do fungus, but I got bark originally, and he's like, oh, well, you could switch it, something else in the hat. Then I pulled out weather, and I was like, oh, what did I do to myself? I just got something, subjective. I would have rather had something tangible, so I kind of shot myself in the foot.
Well, we had to leave at like 7, so I woke up at 6:45.
The biggest problem going to Mendon Ponds was that I had never been there, and by the time that you have to arrive, it was still dark out. So I missed the sign to go in like 2 or 3 times and got lost, and I had no idea where I was going.
The lake is there and everything, but then there's the high grass and the swamp, so instead of just, at first when I went there, I was like, Mendon Ponds, it's a pond. But then after walking around a little bit more, I got a little bit deeper into the park, and I saw what they were actually talking about.
My favorite sight was probably getting to see the final part of the sunrise over the water, and it was really pretty, and all of the reflections and the surrounding. It's kind of like offset from being here at RIT with all the brick. It was nice to finally get to see some nature.
I was just pretty amazed at how such a simple tree just kind of radiated out of all the trees out there.
I didn't have a lot of pictures that were repetitive, which I felt like was a big problem that you had to solve when actually photographing grass.
So I was kind of really struggling, like what would Michael think weather is, as opposed to what do I think? And apparently we had some different opinions on it.
When I went through the raw data, it was, my results were a lot better than I actually anticipated.
The best part for me was seeing what other people had, because there was some really beautiful images that came out of the assignment.